Hello there. Thank you for joining us on NAPTIP On The Move. My name is Angela Agbigi. Our package today brings you diverse events of the agency, geared toward ensuring a human trafficking and violence-free nation. First, we start with a training in collaboration with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. Don't go away.
In an effort to enhance investigation and prosecution, leading to conviction of perpetrators of human trafficking, NAPTIP, in collaboration with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, funded by the Kingdom of Netherlands and the United States, organized a capacity-building program for key officers of the agency. The 5-day training program, which had participants drawn from NAPTIP headquarters and zonal commands, was aimed at improving coordination, collaboration, communication, and creating a harmonized mode of operations between the investigators and prosecutors of the agency. In his opening remark, the country representative of the UNODC, Danilo Campisi, commended the dedication and commitment of the DG NAPTIP.
It gives me a great pleasure to be joining you at this point, at this joining training to strengthen effective enforcement of anti-human trafficking laws organized by NAPTIP investigators and prosecutors. The mock trial that has been built into this training is a good tool to build confidence of the officers during case trials. I would like to recognize the commitment of Director General Professor Fatima Waziri Aji for her unwavering dedication that has contributed to the success of this initiative. Her commitment is once again demonstrated by her active involvement in the organization of this activity.
Delivering her welcome address, the DG NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri Azi, expressed gratitude to UNODC and partners for their support.
Let me thank UNODC for keying into our vision, and also the Kingdom of Netherlands and the United States INL for making this a reality. The successful prosecution of human trafficking as a deterrent depends on the capacity of investigators to effectively collect intelligence and efficiently investigate allegations of human trafficking, and that of prosecutors to effectively present relevant evidence gathered by these investigators before the law courts to secure convictions. When we have more convictions and fewer impunity, that sends the message to everyone that human trafficking is not tolerated. It is not enough to just say the words. Until we continue to put perpetrators behind bars, no matter how long it takes, it doesn't send that message of zero tolerance. And we can achieve this when investigators and prosecutors collaborate and synergize from the initial stage of handling these cases, rather than working in disconnected silos.
Declaring the training open, the DG laid out her expectations to participants. The training began with a presentation on the problem of human trafficking, an overview of socio-economic effects of human trafficking, Strategies for Combating Human Trafficking by Aline Pedra Jorge, UNODC's Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice Officer. The 5-day training was intensive and highly interactive.
A delegation from the Office of the High Commission of the United Kingdom recently paid a visit to NAPTIP. Our report will tell you more. Stay with NAPTIP on the Move.
The Director General of NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri Azi, recently received the Director, Humanitarian and Migration Department at the Commonwealth and Development Office of the High Commission of the United Kingdom, Matthew Wyatt, and his team. The visit afforded both parties the opportunity to explore areas of collaboration and to share ideas on issues relating to human trafficking and irregular migration. The director from the UK High Commission commended NAPTIP for its strides in the fight against human trafficking and reiterated the support of the Commission towards the mandate of the agency. After the meeting, Professor Fatima Waziri Azi led the director on a tour of the NAPTIP shelter, where she highlighted experiences and compelling human trafficking instances while making clarifications on the operations of the shelter. Concluding the tour, Matthew Wyatt bid a warm farewell to the children at the shelter.
The International Center for Migration Policy Development, NAPTIP, ECOWAS and GIZ held a workshop in Abuja. Keep watching.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, in collaboration with the International Center for Migration Policy Development, ICMPD, ECOWAS, GIZ, with funding from the EU, held a 5-day workshop to present, deliberate on and finalize 5 policy documents, which include Standard Operating Procedure for the Coordination of Law Enforcement Agencies and Stakeholders' Response on the Implementation of Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015. Standard Operating Procedure for the Implementation of Trafficking in Persons Control of Activities of Organizations and Centers. Standard Operating Procedure for the Coordination of Law Enforcement Response to Human Trafficking and Violence Against Persons in Nigeria. Also included are ECOWAS Regional Crimes Against the Persons Prevention Policy and Guidelines for Strengthening Regional Referral Mechanism. The workshop started with goodwill messages from ICMPD.
I would like to use this opportunity to extend our warmest appreciation to the government of Nigeria and NAPTIP for being at the forefront of the fight against human trafficking, gender-based violence, and violence against children. I also take this opportunity this morning to applaud the European Union and the German Foreign Office for their financial contributions to make this gathering possible. Trafficking in persons is a phenomenon spread throughout the whole of West Africa, the ECOWAS region, and each of the countries have their distinct features regarding this crime. Reports show women and children are the largest group of identified victims of trafficking in every ECOWAS member state. It is therefore a pleasure to be here at the NAPTIP's flagship event for the review of the new SOPs pertaining to the coordination of the response of law enforcement and other first-line actors to trafficking and violence against persons, as well as the review of the regional crime against the persons prevention policy and operationalization of the regional referral mechanism on TIP.
In his remarks, the head, Trafficking in Persons Unit, ECOWAS, Olatunde Olayemi, extolled NAPTIP as an exemplary agency for the region in the fight against human trafficking.
I must mention that NAPTIP is a unique agency. If you look at the entire world, you look at the landscape in terms of counter-trafficking action by various member states, NAPTIP is truly unique in the sense that the first dedicated agency on trafficking in persons, I think, in the world. Certainly, of course, in Africa and in West Africa. But that's not NAPTIP's only first. And NAPTIP has been instrumental in the inspiration for or inspiring a number of very important initiatives that have been implemented in West and Central Africa. NAPTIP, I should recall, was one of the core partner institutions that led the development of a bi-regional plan of action on trafficking in persons between West and Central Africa back in 2006. NAPTIP also was the inspiration for the development of the ECOWAS policy on care and protection to victims of trafficking in persons. Our work on witness protection was in part also based on initial discussions we had with NAPTIP and NAPTIP's attempt at the time within the Nigerian criminal justice space to create a policy for Nigeria on witness protection. I will just mention as a last point that NAPTIP also has inspired the establishment of agencies in countries like the Gambia, Niger, and most recently Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone just appointed an executive secretary to head a counter-trafficking agency. The effect of NAPTIP is still very much alive and well all over West Africa and beyond.
The Program Manager, Democracy and Rule of Law, Laulu Olaumi, represented the European Union.
So this workshop is a crucial opportunity for us to take stock of our experiences and expertise and to provide input towards the validation of the draft standard operating procedures for coordination of law enforcement response to human trafficking and violence against persons initiated by NAPTIP. It would also provide a platform to practitioners to review the ECOWAS Regional Crimes Action against Person Prevention Policy and review the guidelines for strengthening the regional referral mechanism. The latter has been developed to coordinate across borders interventions amongst an array of anti-trafficking frontline responders with a view to better identifying trafficking victims and systematically referring them to relevant national institutions for the provision of necessary assistance and services based on human rights, gender-sensitive, and trauma-informed approach. I'm confident that our collective efforts will go a long way towards building a safer and more secure Nigeria.
Highlighting examples of a robust interagency and intergovernmental collaboration, the Director General of NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri Azi, outlined the purpose and direction of the workshop.
The need for proper coordination stems from the recognition that human trafficking is complex and multi-dimensional with multiple aspects. A single trafficking case may sometimes involve many government agencies to tackle. And to help NAPTIP bridge between all these entities, we must promote cooperation. And to promote cooperation appropriately, policies are needed to guide interventions. I am sure we can all agree that interagency collaboration is a prerequisite for the success of any national or local strategy to prevent and combat trafficking in persons and violence against persons. And what this means is that we are all in this together. The problem we face as a people and as a country is our collective problem, which was why last year we conducted an in-house policy needs assessment to identify targeted strategies and determine what needed to be accomplished to help us reach our overarching goal in coordinating and implementing our mandate at a country level. And we identified key policy gaps, the need to develop new standard operating procedures and review existing ones to meet up with the evolving nature of the crimes themselves, which is why we're all here today to present and finalize the zero draft of 3 standard operating procedures. That is, standard operating procedure for the coordination of law enforcement agencies and stakeholders' response on the implementation of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act of 2015, standard operating procedure for the implementation of trafficking in persons, control of activities of organizations and centers, and standard operating procedure for the coordination of law enforcement response to human trafficking and violence against persons in Nigeria. To effectively respond to the scourge of human trafficking and other related crimes, we must continue to integrate cutting-edge tools to outpace criminals whose tactics are increasingly sophisticated, and I hope we are able to collectively improve on this document, that we scale our response to controlling human trafficking and violence against persons while providing adequate protection services for victims of human trafficking and all forms of violence.
Concluding her speech, she declared the workshop open. The 5-day Stakeholders Coordination Workshop on Law Enforcement Response to Human Trafficking and Violence Against Persons, which was held in Abuja, had participants from relevant ministries, departments, agencies and civil society organizations.
Our next report is on child trafficking. 23 children were recently rescued. By who and from where? Let's find out.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, in partnership with the Kogi State Government and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, rescued 23 children en route Kaduna to Kogi State.
This case started as a case of a child wandering, picked and brought back to our office. But when we started digging down, we now discovered that no, this child is not alone. There were in fact 3 from where he left. In the process of getting the 3 and finding out where is he from, he saw 9 was from Rijana in Kaduna State. And when I asked, Rijana, what are you doing here? The national name he gave us, Samaila Mustafa. Now, when we went and got the guardian whom he is staying with, he said his name is Paul. Sir, Paul, what are you doing here? I'm from Rijana. Who brought you? My uncle. Before you know, we got 30 kids. Out of those 30 kids, some were minors who had the age of 3, which he had to return before by Easter.
The Director, Investigation and Monitoring at the NAPTIP headquarters, Daniel Atokolo, while showcasing the benefits of a robust partnership, received the children from officials of the Kogi State Government and the NSCDC in Abuja.
The Kogi State Government have rescued 23 children from the clutches of human traffickers and exploiters of children's labor. The investigation will continue, and we are going to track and trace the people that brought them into this kind of bondage, and we shall prosecute them. The fallout from here is that please speak to NAPTIP. Speak to NAPTIP when you see children being taken, especially on the highway, and you think it's suspicious. Speak with the security men on the highway. There are policemen on the highway, there's federal road safety on the highway, there's civil defense officers along the route. Speak to them and then call NAPTIP, and we shall come rescue them and prosecute the traffickers.
While commending NAPTIP for its support, the State Security Advisor to the Kogi State Government, Commander Jerry Omodara retired, and the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Fatima Kabir Buba, spoke on the rescue.
The effort of the state is key in working with NAPTIP, and we must commend the effort of the civil defense in Kogi State, the Commandant Commander Gandhi, with his men for what they have done. This case is a case of one child wandering around the mosque, and the mom reported to security agencies, and from there the civil defense did diligent investigations to unravel the mom behind trafficking these children from Kaduna State to Kogi State. And that is how security should work. They collaborated well with us, and His Excellency the Governor of Kogi State directed that we must follow it diligently and ensure that the 30 children As of now, we have recovered 23. The 30 children, we must get them. We are still working with the NSCDC in Kogi State to ensure that all the 30 children will repatriated back to NAPTIP and they are taken back to Kaduna State to their parents. We really appreciate the prompt way you people responded to us through your free toll line, and as well talking with us through your operations officers, and for us to be able to bring them here today. It is a wonderful way you people are working.
I must commend the Commandant Civil Defense, Gandhi, for his effort. I also commend our State Security Advisor, to His Excellency, Kogi State, for a very good work. He has been doing perfectly well in terms of security. I must commend NAPTIP because we had some collaboration sometime last year, which led to a very successful one. I'm so happy these children will get back to their parents, and then it's our role also to let them know that these children ought to be in school. They ought to be in school. They ought to take care of them. No matter how bad the situation is, your child is your child.
Further investigations are ongoing. Partnership is one of the 5-pronged approach employed by NAPTIP in the drive to achieve its mandate.
Finally, NAPTIP has been securing convictions. So far in 2023, the agency has secured 32 convictions. Let's take a look.
The FCT High Court, presided over by Honorable Justice N.K. Ihemewosu, has sentenced Musa Sabo to 12 years imprisonment without option of fine for rape and incest of his daughter. In a related development in Yola, Adamawa State, Honorable Justice A.M. Anka of the Federal High Court sentenced 33-year-old Muhammad Ibrahim and 27-year-old Josiah Mobo to 5 years imprisonment respectively without option of fine for facilitating the intended entry of 2 females, 24 and 23 years old respectively, to Libya. So far, NAPTIP has secured 32 convictions and counting in 2023. Have you been promised a job here in Nigeria or abroad? What about offers of free education or enrollment in a foreign football club? Please do your research. These are some of the antics of human traffickers. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. It entails forced labor, sex trafficking, and organ harvesting. Its consequences have devastating psychological effects such as depression, anxiety, memory loss, severe forms of mental trauma, and death. NAPTIP is working tirelessly to ensure protection of victims and speedy prosecution of offenders. Are you a victim? Waste no time. Call NAPTIP now on 0703 0000203 or the toll-free short code 627. NAPTIP, ensuring a human trafficking and violence-free nation.
Our next segment is the usual victim story. Stay with NAPTIP on the Move.
I'm staying with my auntie from Betai Court to Abuja. That time she's sick. Then she now said that it's me that caused the sickness. Then my auntie said, oh yeah, later send me go to my mommy's house. Then she know one brother, she know him, but me I don't know him. Then he now carry me. I did 3 days in their house. Then he now sick. Then my auntie now call him, oh other affair we have go. He now tell her say no, we have not go. Then my auntie now tell him say that it's me that make the sickness, that's why we do not go. Then he now get angry and start beating me and say that me and me winch. I'm not the win. Even pastors say they pray and say I'm not the win. They still saying that I'm the one. Then he said that there's ice on this hand. And then he now light fire and burn the hand, the 2 hand. Then after he burned the 2 hand, he said that he will remove my 2 leg and my neck. his daughter, we are the same age with me and her. She even go and bring knife and sharpen the mouth and let the father kill me. After the father now started cutting my hair, blood now come and he now cut this two leg. He now started cutting it. The chain bring out wound and blood. After he burned the hand, then the hand now swallow up. Then he now get me to the hospital. Then they give me drugs and injection. After they give me, now come back. I have not go to hospital again. That one tough pass. Then his leg was paining him. I even go and make fire and let them put it in his thing. Let them massage his leg. After they go, then he now tell Aboki that me I make his leg to pain him. Then the Aboki don't know what to say. He now say that yes. Then he now just get angry and just start beating me. Blood now come out from the hand. Then me and I run, go and tell our neighbor. Then our neighbor now go and call police. From there, they now bring me here. I want to tell them, say thank you, because from there that they saved my life. That he was looking for what to kill me with it. Thank you, NAPTIP, for saving my life.
For more inquiries and support, or to report cases of suspected human trafficking, violence against persons and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotline 0703 0000203 or the short code 627, or email us info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria, or watch our videos on YouTube.
This is where we draw the curtain on this episode of NAPTIP On The Move. Thank you for watching, and do join us again next week. I'm Angela Agwegi. Goodbye.